In this video, we're going to do a very simple demo of a for loop, one of the most simple and commonly used loops. As you can see, I've got open a sample program. Right now it's empty. I've got a list box here, which we're going to display items in. I've got a command button. We should probably change the content there to say something useful, like do demo. And let's create some code in here to do a simple loop. All right, this is the button start click event. And when we click on this button, it'll do this. Now, we're going to create a for loop. Naturally, the keyword it starts with is for. We open up parentheses to start it. And as we've talked about, the first thing you have to do is set an initial value. So we'll create an integer called I and set its initial value to 0. I becomes our loop control variable. This will be a counter, it'll be an indicator, an index into arrays. We'll use it in a lot of ways, but now it's initialized. We're going to run this 10 times, so that means that as long as I is less than 10, because we're starting at 0, this loop will run. This is the comparison, the second part of the loop. Remember, all loops have an initialization. They have a comparison to see if the loop continues. And the third part is some sort of change. In this case, I plus plus means increment the variable I, our loop control variable, every time the loop. Now let's put some content in here. Open a curly brace. We may have multiple lines later. For right now, we're just going to add something to the list box. So list display dot items dot add, and for right now, let's just put the number in there, the loop control variable, which is I. Of course, our items in a list box are strings, so we'll use toString to make sure that we're adding a string, end the line in a semicolon, and then close the block with the close curly brace. Simple loop, initialize the value, change the compare the value, change the value, and inside we're just using the loop control variable to show something. Now we'll run this, and we get this window, and then I push do demo. There we go, 0 through 9. We could also run this the other way. We could start at 10, and we could say I minus minus, but of course we'd have to change our control here, and we'll say something like, well, I is greater than 0. So what are we going to get when we run this time? We're going to get a countdown starting from 10 and going to 1. Again, we have the same basic things. We initialize a value, we compare the value, and then we change the value in our loop. And that's all for this demo.